Has Donald J. Trump underestimated Mark Carney? Folks, this video is explosive. I deep dived into everything Mark Carney over the last 24 hours. I've read everything he's done as Bank of England, Bank of Canada, everything of him, absolutely. From the Conservatives to the Liberals in Canada, not to be mistaken for Democrats or Republicans. And you know what I've come to terms with? I read an exceptional amount of material in many, many spheres of knowledge, of spirituality, of religion, history, economics, goes on and on, political science throughout the ages. I read a boat ton. And after today, everybody, I have a question. Has Donald J. Trump underestimated Mark Carney? That after everything I've deep dived into Mark Carney that I present in the link of this title, it's 2 sublinks. You get 2 sublinks. You click and then you click again in that title and you get more. This video will not last. This video will last all of 4 weeks' time. Jonathan Bahai, I'll ask him to upload the video to YouTube, X. I've thought about, should I put it on YouTube? This is explosive. This is really dark, scary stuff that I never would have imagined, I never would have drawn, except for I've read about it. I've read about it in old Jewish, Persian, Palestinian text, 2,900 years old. Stuff not in the Christian teachings, not in the Christian Bible. Another trained name for Lucifer. If you believe in the devil, you believe in a demon called Satan, there's another name. Asmodeus comes out of Persia, comes out of Israel, comes out of Palestine. All those cultures comes out of Greek mythology. Absolutely. One place in the world. Asmodeus is a demon. In fact, in all of teachings, you can span Christianity, ancient texts, all of it. Asmodeus is the ultimate evil demon. He is the demon who stops procreation. He kills men from spawning children with women. We can go into Charlie Kirk's assassination and the evil of today, folks. This is heavy-duty stuff that really, when you look at everything Mark Carney's ever written, he was the Bank of Canada, he was the Bank of England, he is the Prime Minister of Canada today. He is the embodiment, the written scripture of Asmodeus, a demon of gold, a demon of the coin currency gold. He is the demon that is that against the United States of America in Bretton Woods II. Bretton Woods II. The embodiment of Russia, India, China against the United States of America, funded by Britain, funded by France, the European Union to destroy Americans, to fund that, create that, build a new to Bretton Woods, post-World War II, which means going back to fascism, which is all monarchical. It is the demon out of Scripture, not Christian Scripture, pre-Christian, meaning before Christ. That is Asmodeus, who loved gold, loved to neuter entire populations, spoken about by the Jews, by the Persians, the Palestinians, and the Greeks. A demon that convinced entire populations to get into such a system of economics they couldn't afford to have children. They wouldn't have children. They would neuter themselves and allow forth all the spawns of evil into their society. All those who worshipped Asmodeus. That's Mark Carney. Everything he writes about in 2012 as Bank of Canada's #1, Mark Carney, and how he will destroy America by hedging against all Americans, as making sure no human being will be able to afford to have a child. That's Mark Carney. That's Asmodeus, who loved gold. And since his publication, Canada, the 4th largest source of gold mining in the world, has been strengthening that end. Canadians, you have not an ounce of gold in reserve, but you mine the most gold, the 4th largest mining source of gold in the world, for London, who doesn't create it for itself, but sells it all to the BRICS nations in massive plenty. They're already 33% that of the United States of America's gold reserves, not the UK. Mark Carney is the engineer of this 2012 to 2025. Currently, the BRICS nations, through Canada, through London, now have 33% of that the USA holds on reserve for the American dollar in Bretton Woods 1. Mark Carney drafted in the literature in this title that can only be found in Asmodeus literature 2,900 years ago before Christ. Persian, Judean, and Palestinian all together writes about the worst demon known to mankind pre-Christian. I have to ask the question, without Charlie Kirk, without serious Christian leaders in North America, and the greatest source being over the age of 75, Republicans who teach about this are all over the age of 75. In the link of this title, I give you Mark Carney's scripture, his plan for the world, his hegemony in gold against the United States of America with all the BRICS nations, as he brags about moving forward that way, which all Canadian conservatives back and get behind. Pre-2012 into 2012, Stephen Harper sells off all our gold reserves and begins aggressively mining Canadian gold in the name of BRICS, in the name of those nations, to destroy America and all nations who participate since Mark Carney's craft and creation that can only be found in Asmodeus literature 2,900 years ago, where countries all give up their ability to produce children, which Canada does. We don't produce enough children. We rely on immigration to advance our nation because we can't birth enough children. And we also harvest more gold than Canada's ever done before for the greatness of China, India, and all BRICS nations against the United States of America. Literally, Mark Carney's writings as Bank of Canada, as he hedges everything Canada from the Conservatives and Liberals, because he's carried on. All our governments have supported Mark Carney's transition into China, India, and BRICS, largest being China. We've created a China that has 25% the gold reserves of USA out of Canada through London, England since 2012. Real, credible, 100% verifiable. Also out of Canada, half of India's reserves have been harvested from Canada entirely. Every nation who's participated in this has a negative birth rate and a positive supercharged mass immigration. London, UK, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, all of the Commonwealth who participates in this has a negative birth rate according to the demon, the devil, Satan, Lucifer, his name Asmodeus, which is scripture written identical to Mark Carney. I can't make this up. It's all in 2 links of this title. You click the link, you click the sublink in the next link, and you can read over 50 documents that portray Mark Carney as the demon Asmodeus. Real, credible, verifiable. The reality of what Canada is, what the UK is, Bretton Woods 2 against the United States to destroy Christianity. Absolutely. It's also against the Muslims. It's also against the Israelis, Judeans, Judaists. It's against the Greeks as well too. Old, taught about, a warning, pre-Christian, a reality of a Satan we've never known in Christianity that is identical to everything written about Asmodeus is exactly what Mark Carney has written for himself. Carnage, Carney, the demon devil. Demon devil over the United Kingdom, demon devil over Canada. I don't think Donald J. Trump is equipped to deal with Mark Carney. I don't think so. I think Donald J. Trump has grossly underestimated Mark Carney as the demon Asmodeus. And if anyone reads the truth, the history, the unchristian reality of demonology, Asmodeus, you will match Mark Carney to an identical T for the United Kingdom and the living embodiment of Canada today. And the polar transition of the world today, led by Mark Carney, who nobody can take from any of the literature anything other than being the living, breathing embodiment of Satan, Asmodeus, that gold-sucking, that human-killing machine. That's Mark Carney, and everything he's written matches ancient scripture pre-Christianity. Old Testament, yes, the Persian world pre-Muslim, absolutely, and everything in circuit for Muslims, and absolutely what is Palestine today and the Jerusalem of today is written there for anyone to take, any Christian to take and read, and you will find an old Satan, a different version of a Satan brought alive today in the UK, and absolutely 100% undeniable Canada, leader of Canada. That's my video. You can call it crazy. I challenge anyone to read the documented history of Asmodeus, the demon devil, and tell me how Mark Carney, in everything he's crafted and written since 2012, is not the cult living reality of the worst demon ever written about in human history, Asmodeus. Tell me that's not Mark Carney. That's my video. Share, share, share. 100% accurate, deadly accurate, undeniable. Americans, you're not prepared for this truth. You're not. Not as a Christian. That's my video. Share, share, share. Get it out there. I stand behind it 100%.